Morning, all. How did you sleep last night?
I didn't, did I? Well, Max, I kept him up tossing and turning all night.
You're disgustingly chipper this morning.
Am I? Well, I suppose I'm excited. Is that the reason that you had a restless night?
Well, actually, it was more dread than excitement.
Ah, after what the fortune teller said.
I see death. That was very reassuring.
Well, she did continue that although Maggie had suffered terrible loss, not to be afraid because she was going to make up for it with an incredible discovery.
Well, what exactly am I supposed to discover?
Well, shall we go and find out? I just spoke to the caretaker. My mother's house is open, and he is waiting for us there to show us around.
Your mother's planning a trip to Baltimore for John Carpenter's funeral.
Why? She didn't know him that well, did she?
No, but he was a brother-in-law. And given the bishop's connections here in Landview, I think the banner should cover the story. You want the assignment?
Do I smell Pulitzer?
Okay, I'll send Cassie.
Why, because the bishop is her husband's uncle? No. I don't think she should have to work during a family funeral. Besides, she's been getting a lot of the soft news items lately. I'll take it.
I suspect you can catch a ride with your mother.
Good. While she's stuck in the car with me, I'm going to work on her about hiring Mel Hayes.
I was going to take another shot at that myself this morning.
So I guess you lost your mind, huh? Told her that it was Dorian's idea.
Okay, let's put that smart mouth of yours to good use, shall we? Come on, we'll double team her.
Oh, 2-on-1, I'm off for that. Hey, do you think Mom knows that Storm Manning's back in the hospital?
Oh, is she?
Yeah.
I'm sorry to hear it.
Sleep at all?
No.
Thinking about your baby?
I wasn't thinking, really. I was trying to stay afloat with all these memories rushing in.
Memories of what?
Margaret, something happened to me a long time ago in a far-off place, and I never told you about it. But I would like to tell you now, if I may.
Is this about your family?
Yeah, how did you know?
Well, for as long as I've known you, you rarely talk about them. And whenever I would bring it up, you would change the subject, so I never really pressed it. I lost my family. I guess I was hoping that someday I might become a part of yours.
A cottage full of thorn hearts. I'm afraid that'll stay a dream, Margaret.
Why?
Why? Because what happened to Grania, my older sister. What a beautiful woman. Long, dark red hair, color of wine, and a smile that broke a million hearts. And then in turn, she had hers broken by a fine English gentleman who totally abandoned her when he found out that she was pregnant with his child.
Oh, that must have been awfully hard for her. And your parents.
No. They didn't know about it then. Grania said that it would kill them. No, I was the only one that knew. And I was the one that went with her to London. We had to leave the country so she could have an abortion. And all the while that she was on that table being butchered by the sod from the National Health, my mom and Dad thought we were hiking in the Wicklow Hills.
What happened?
The night after she was released from the hospital, we were in a stingy boarding house, smelled of fish and chips, and my sister was kneeling on her bed, sobbing, mourning her lost child. And all at once she started bleeding. And I wouldn't stop. I called an ambulance and they said they were terribly sorry, but there's nothing they could do. That was that. So I went home to Ireland alone, told my mom and dad what happened, and funny thing was, Grania was right. Something did die inside of them, something did get killed. Broke their hearts, Mark. And they said they'd never forgive me, and by God, they never have.
I am so sorry.
Yeah. It's all I think about now. Some fancy doctor comes up and wants to take some simple tests of my son. All I see is my beautiful sister doubled over in pain, her knees covered in blood, and she's screaming for mercy. And I can do nothing. Can do nothing.
I don't know what to say to you. I'm sorry, I understand why you're so upset. And we don't have to press the issue, but maybe now you can do something. There's only the slightest risk to your baby with what they want to do right now. They just want to take some blood, a very small sample from the umbilical cord, because that's where the cells are that make the bone marrow while the child is in utero. And if your son is a viable match with Star, then they can harvest the umbilical cord at birth. That's where they take the tissue and they use that for Star's transplant.
All makes sense to me now that you explain it. It's all very clear in my head, Margaret. But in my heart...
I know. But if your child shows any signs of distress, they will stop.
Of course they will. Always do. I'm sorry. Shouldn't burden you with my problems.
It's not a burden. It means a lot that you shared it with me.
I never ever want to keep anything from you.
I have a feeling that you were just trying to hide what happened to your sister from yourself.
I don't deserve you, Margaret.
Well, that's too bad, because you're stuck with me. Because I love you.
So, when did they schedule this test of ours?
Later this morning. You'll be there?
No. Unless you can't give me your assurance.
Of what?
There is no guarantee, Mrs. Manning. Any medical procedure carries with it a certain amount of risk. But I've performed this test many times with no problem. You'll be under sedation, and the baby will be on a fetal monitor.
Let's say you get the blood. How long do I have to wait for the results?
Tomorrow morning at the latest.
Well, what if Star takes a turn for the worse? What am I going to do, sit here, twiddle my thumbs?
Todd, we don't have to tell Dr. Sands how urgent this is. She's the one that's told us already.
Right. Well, just sit there. Go scrub up or something.
I would like to make certain there's an OR available.
Well, at least Star's temperature is down. That's something. Her body's responding to the antibiotics.
Her fever went down before we went out of the woods.
Todd, don't. We have got to believe that we can get through this.
Well, what if she can't get through this? What if she needs a marrow transplant today or in an hour? We don't have a donor.
I can't think about an hour from now. Let's just get through the next 10 minutes, all right? I'll just do this in utero test, and then we'll go from there. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, well, I don't work like that. Say this is all out of our hands. It makes me crazy not to be in control.
You think that I like it? Looking at our little girl, wondering how much time that she has left? A few weeks, a few days, a few hours? I think like that, Todd, and it terrifies me. Well, that's a luxury I can't afford right now. Not that kind of paralysis. You have got to help me through this. And I don't care if you're in control or not. You fake it. I need you. This baby needs you. And our own little girl needs you most of all.
Hi, guys.
Mind if we come in?
You mean, do I mind if you two gang up on me? Please, please. I knew my day was sailing by too smoothly.
I told you I wasn't going to give up.
On Mel Hayes, are we back to that? But with reinforcement.
You know, Mom, I thought Dad was pulling my leg when he told me that you had the chance to hire one of my all-time heroes. But you passed.
Kevin, I admire the man myself, or I did. But I understand he has a serious drinking problem.
Yeah, but that's an occupational hazard. It comes with the territory.
Kevin, that's romantic nonsense.
All right, look at his track record. His reporting on Vietnam. When I read his anthology in high school, that is when the war became real for me, for the only time.
Mr. Hayes did that reporting many years ago.
But he hasn't lost it. No matter what personal problems he's going through right now. For example, a couple of months ago, he wrote an article for the Times magazine about coyotes. Those are those bad guys that ferry illegal aliens in from the Mexican border. I mean, these guys abuse the people. They rob them, leave them out in the desert to die. Anyway, to get the story, Mel Hayes went on one of these runs. He disguised himself as a migrant worker, hid himself in the back of a flatbed truck under a tarpaulin with 12 other frightened people. And I'll tell you, Mom, when I read his accounting of this story, I felt like I was right there, in the dark, away from home, in the middle of nowhere.
Which is pretty much where Mel Hayes finds himself right now at this period in his life.
Well, then why don't we take it upon ourselves to put him back on track?
Because we're running a newspaper, not a rehab clinic.
I see. So if Woodward and Bernstein were drunks and they were looking for a job, you'd say, sorry, guys, we're not hiring. So take your story about this third-rate burglary someplace else.
Inaccurate sarcasm. My goodness, this means a lot to you, doesn't it, Kevin?
What, to work with Mel Hayes? A guy who could teach me more than anything I'll ever learn in a journalism school?
Or from your parents? All right, I'll tell you what I will do. I will go this far. I will agree to interview Mr. Hayes. That is, if you can manage to find him and bring him here. But you be sure that Dorian is totally out of the loop on this.
You got a deal.
There was something I could say to make you feel better. But I can tell you this, if you're worrying about me hanging in there, I'm going to do the best I can.
I'm sure you mean that, Margaret.
Why, you sound like you don't trust me.
No, I don't think you trust me.
It's not true.
Then you need to promise me that whenever you're hurting, whenever you're angry, you will tell me about it. Not just put up a front.
Like throw a fit in public?
Tell me when you're hurting.
All right.
Hope you understand why I need you to be. I want to shoulder some of the burden that I put on you.
Thank you. That means a lot. I gotta warn you, though. I don't know if you know what you're getting into asking me to be truthful. Because I have looked into this heart of mine and, the jungle in there.
That's all right, Margaret, because as you Americans say, you never promised me a rose garden, now did you?
'Haven't been able to keep it up like we used to.
No, I can see that.
Please hold my hand.
Yeah. It's gonna be okay, man.
You think so? I'm really glad you're here.
That's good. Because I wouldn't let you come without me.
It's just that I think that something incredible could happen any second now. And whatever it is, I want to share it with you.
So, are you ready to look around?
No. But I might as well. I can close my eyes, but I can't block the smell of the jasmine and the honeysuckle and... Mimosa?
Yes. Yes, that was my mother's favorite.
I don't see it.
Well, it all got blown down years ago in a hurricane.
Wait a minute, you're telling me that I'm remembering smells? That is impossible.
Unless you were here before.
In my dreams.
No, but what if those dreams are memories of an afternoon you spent here when we were small?
How?
Did you see that wrought iron table?
In my dream, we were having tea from a silver teapot.
Yes, my mother always served tea in the garden.
And then... down and we danced. Ian, look.
What?
The tile. Look at the pattern.
Look. You see? I told you. It's the same pattern that's on the locket.
The tile that's in my dream. I have been here before. This doesn't make any sense. No, is that you?
I'll call you back. Bye-bye.
Make yourself at home, Dorian.
Well, I thought I would, since I didn't know how long you would keep me waiting. Clint, weren't you going to call me when the Banner offered Mel Hayes a job?
I'm still working on that, Dorian, with Kevin's help.
You mean Vicky's being pig-headed?
Mind if we say cautious? Now, look, Mel does have a bad rep these days, but at least we got Vicky to agree to an interview.
You mean that she didn't just offer this giant, one of the greatest reporters of our time, a job right there on the spot? Oh, please. Tell me you didn't let her know it was my idea.
Look, Dorian, your friend is a tough sell, but we did it. We got him in the door.
Yes, and now that he's in the door, can he pull himself together for an interview?
Well, of course he can. The question is, will he deign to be interviewed? But he's been all around the world, and He is wise to the ways of the Philistines. Why don't I call him and see if I can set something up? Thank you.
Hello?
Hello, Mel. It's Dorian Lord. I hope you're sitting down because I've got some pretty exciting news.
Hello? Who is this?
I've just been talking to Clint Buchanan. I believe you said that your paths had crossed from time to time. And I told him that you were interested in a change of scene. So Clint suggested that you come here to Landview as soon as you possibly can to meet with his publisher, take a look around the town, which I know you're going to love, and consider the possibility of a job here at the Banner.
Dorian?
Yes, yes. I know this is totally out of the blue, so why don't you just try and catch your breath?
Oh, no, I'm okay. I just had a little problem with the phone. Where are you?
Well, right now, I'm in Clint's office, Clint Buchanan's office, and he's really very eager to meet you.
Oh, that's great. Same here.
Hello, Mel?
What happened?
We were cut off? I don't think you heard a single word I said.
You're too late.
Late for what?
Well, you came here to try and talk Blair out of having the baby tested. Well, you're too late. See, they wheeled her out of here a few minutes ago. It's already happening, Patty, me lad.
Are we speaking the mother tongue now? All right, then you tell me. Why do you have to be such a head-button Amadon?
What, that's like an idiot?
It's like an idiot, yeah.
I don't know, maybe you bring out the best in me. Maybe I just got tired of pulling little wings off of flies.
Difference is, this fly's gonna fight back.
What are you gonna do? Hack me up with an angry poem? I hate Todd, because he smells like a scrod. Hey, you know what? I don't like you. That's why you get in your face. And my little girl could die, and all of a sudden you're in the middle of it. Don't you get that, you stupid Mick?
For the love of God, take your hand off me.
Yeah? Or what?
Todd, our quarrel's just gonna have to wait. Please. I have no problem with Blair. I have no problem with your beautiful star. But I have an unborn son whose life is in danger as well. And there's no one to stand up for him but myself.
That's weird when you think about it. You care so much about this son of yours that's causing you so much trouble. And I bet your precious Margaret isn't happy about this baby on the way, considering that you're the father and that the mother is Blair. I bet Margaret wouldn't mind at all if the doctor's needle just went just a little too far and Star's little brother. Oh.
Just how dark does it get in the dismal soul of yours, Todd?
So, was Mr. Hayes in the bag?
Hungover? No, of course not. He was totally coherent. Said he'd been up for hours.
I thought you said he didn't hear a word you said.
Bits, pieces. Maybe I should try him again. Please. Thank you. There's a redial button on this. Aha.
What?
Hello, Mel. It's Dorian again. We were cut off. Well, this is a much better connection, though.
I thought that was you, but then I decided it had to be a dream.
Mel, are you all right?
I'm fine. I'm fine now. It's good to hear your voice. And it'd be coming from, where?
Landview, where I live, Pennsylvania. Where a situation has come up that I thought might interest you.
Are you part of the situation?
Indirectly.
Then I'm interested.
Good. I'm here with Clint Buchanan, the editor of the Banner.
Oh, wait. Big guy. Texan.
That's right.
Ah, he's a good man.
Well, the feeling is apparently mutual, and he'd like to say hello to you. Shall I put you on? Okay.
Why not?
Okay.
Mel? Clint Buchanan.
Hey, El Bate.
Come again?
That gin mill. A home sweet home for me in San Juan before the tourists found it. That's where we met.
I think you're right.
Oh, man, I know I'm right. I can see that old black walnut bar and this blonde that bellied up to it. And we found out where you were from, and then she asked you to sing The Eyes of Texas, which you did about 20 times in a row. I think there was blood coming out of my ears.
Well, that was quite a night. You know, Lyndon had just announced that he wasn't running again, and I think I was overcompensating. Do you remember where we saw each other last?
Oh, no. Remind me, please.
Well, you were hanging out of a helicopter about 10 feet over the top of the Secretary of State's garden party.
Oh, God. When I had that idea, somebody just should have shot me.
Well, I'm glad that didn't happen, because I got a proposal for you. But I'd like to discuss it in person. And do you think you could get that helicopter to drop you off at Landview?
Okay, I'll bite. You want me to come up to Blandview, is it? And then what then? We knock back a few, we trade war stories? I don't think so, Clint. What the hell do you want?
Oh, we didn't mean to startle you, Hannah. It's me, Ian.
You're all grown up.
Well, unfortunately, it couldn't be avoided.
And I've dried up. I'm ready to blow away.
Oh, nonsense, nonsense. You look lovely. It's so good to see you.
You brought company.
Yes. Max Holden, this is Hannah Graham.
Nice to meet you.
And this
Someone I thought was a ghost.
This is Maggie Carpenter.
Yes, of course. Here you are. Come and sit beside me, won't you? You knew we were coming, Miss Graham? Oh, yes. Bertrand, the caretaker, called me.
You mean you're not living in the house anymore?
No, not since your mother died. I have no wish to encounter your father. He flies in from time to time to settle your mother's estate.
Why didn't you tell me?
I'm telling you now. Don't fuss. I have a lovely place in the Garden District.
Hannah was officially my mother's nanny.
Officially?
Well, you were very much more than that. My mother was a very private woman, and she would only confide in you and you alone.
I was paid well enough to listen.
Oh, what a cynical old thing. You've become. Money had nothing to do with it.
No. I loved your mother. I miss her.
I know. So do I. Do you remember this?
Yes, of course.
Didn't my mother always mean for me to have this?
Do you know why?
Well, she said it would always protect me, but I never really knew what she meant by that.
What do your friends have to do with all this?
Well, it started when I learned that both Max and Maggie were in St. Martin the day that my mother died. Now, coincidentally, Maggie's father, a man by the name of John Carpenter, was in the island, he claims, at the request of my mother.
For what reason?
Well, that we don't really know, but they were old friends, evidently, and I suppose that is the reason that he ended up with the locket. But now I got it from him just before he died. He gave it to me, but it was empty.
And where did this lock of hair come from?
My father died recently of a heart attack. But he left behind an envelope, and that lock of hair was inside it. It fit perfectly in this, so we assumed that he must have taken it out before he gave the locket back to Ian. But why he did it and what it means, we don't know.
And so all of this brings you here.
Yeah.
Well, tell her about your recurring dreams.
I keep seeing this little girl and little boy playing in a garden. They're happy until a woman takes the little boy away. And the little girl feels so alone. There's a man there to console her, but she's heartbroken.
In the garden, in your dreams.
This is it. I knew the moment I walked in here. And then I saw the inlaid tile on the ground, and it's exactly the same as the tile in my dream garden.
And what's even stranger is that that pattern matches the locket. Do you have any idea what this means?
Of course, my dear.
Would you please let us in on your secret?
You want me to tell you the truth? If I do, it'll change your life forever. Are you certain you want that?
Mel, I get you at a bad time?
Oh, no, I just, I could use a few gallons of coffee, but I'll still be the same jerk when I'm wide awake, so why don't you tell me what's up?
Well, Doria and I were speaking, and she told me that you were looking to make a change.
Yeah, well, you don't have to look for it, pal. You turn around and it hits you right in the face.
I heard about your wife. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you never met her, did you?
No, but you talked about her. A lot. The night we closed up that bar in San Juan.
Yeah. She was something else. And life goes on.
Dorian said that you might be wanting to move out of the D.C. area.
Well, you spend enough time around politicians, you start to wonder whether they could be carcinogenic.
Well, the air is a lot cleaner up this way. So if you could swing by, it's an easy trip from Washington. I could introduce you to my publisher.
Don't you mean your wife?
Ex-wife. But we get along fine. Anyway, we could bat it around the table and, about having you come to work for the Banner.
Work?
Well, that's assuming that you're not under contract.
Well, no, not since I gave up the column.
But you do still write.
Yeah, freelance now and then for the Post, you know.
Well, my son also told me that you did a great piece for the Times Magazine.
Which they edited all to hell, but yeah, I keep my hand in. Working on a novel, and you know a reporter who isn't. So, going back to the daily grind, I don't know. I was pretty sick of doing that column.
Well, I'm not interested in a column. What I want is a top-notch investigative reporter, and you're the best in the business.
Well, that's laying it on a bit thick. I mean, not that I disagree with you or anything.
Well, does the offer sound attractive to you at all?
Well, it depends. I don't like interference. Meaning I get approval of edited copies. Is that a problem?
Not for me. I'll have to run it by Vicky, but I don't think she'll object.
What the heck? I'll come up there. See if we're on the same page, which we are, if you hate that expression as much as I do. When do you want me?
Tomorrow?
Why not?
11 o'clock? My office?
I'm there.
Looking forward to it.
Tomorrow? No. It's just a bad dream. Oh.
Congratulations, Clint, you did it.
Nothing is settled yet.
Believe me, this is going to work out. Thank you. And I promise you, you're not going to regret it. Thank you.
So, tell me Mom isn't right to have reservations about this setup.
Just because Dorian's involved?
Oh, come on, Dad. Didn't you see the grin on her face as she left here? I have no idea what she's up to, but something tells me that we're in for some big trouble.
You think we've got a problem here?
Well, Dad, it is sort of a good news, bad news thing. I mean, the good news is, yeah, I mean, it would be great to have a guy such as Mel Hayes working on staff here at the Banner, but the bad news is, look who the guy's agent is. Dorian Lord. I just say be careful. We might be getting the Trojan horse, you know?
Or maybe, despite Dorian's best efforts, she had a good idea.
But are you sure that, you know, this guy's not going to be controlled by Dorian?
Who, Mel?
Yeah.
Oh, you got to be kidding. Nobody controls him. He's the original loose cannon. That's why he scares a lot of people. And, if you ask me, that's part of the reason why he's so good at his job.
Hey, you don't have to sell me on him. Remember, the guy's one of my heroes. I just hope that we can get this idea past Mom.
So, you think your mother is still going to be a problem?
Well, isn't she already putting up her roadblocks?
You don't want to know how dark my soul is.
You're right, I don't. I'm still prepared to cooperate with Star's treatment as long as my son does not get hurt. Understood?
Well, whatever's best for my little girl is what Blair's going to do. She doesn't need your cooperation or anybody else's.
Come with me, both of you.
What is it? Is it the baby?
Blair?
There's a problem in the OR.
Ian, come on.
No, Maggie, I can do it
No,
myself.
I want to help.
So this is it.
Open it and see.
Do you want to do it?
No, I'm afraid.
So am I.
Open it, Ian.
This is my mother's handwriting.
Yes. What does it say?
It says, to my children.